The Nyandarua County Assembly Annual Budget Estimate Financial Year 2025-2026 is duly tabled. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 216.3 and 4, I refer the document to the sectoral committees for them to consider them and report to the Budget and Appropriations Committee within 21 days. Further, I refer the estimates of the Committee on Budget Appropriations for the committee to conduct public participation, check on the views of the sectoral committees, and to consult with the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning, and ultimately report back to the House. I may be chairperson on the Budget and Appropriations Committee. How many days do you need to report back to the House? Honorable Isaac Kunga.
50 days.
Thank you. Clerk, be it on business tracker that within 50 days he shall report back to the House. Clerk, next order.
Still under the same order, Mr. Speaker, there is a paper to be laid by the Honorable Samuel Shegegadirimo, the Deputy Speaker and the Vice Chairperson of the House Business Committee.
Very well. Honorable Samuel Shegegadirimo, Deputy Speaker, Vice Chairperson of the House Business Committee, member for Geta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to report that the House Business Committee sat and considered the Gazette on reorganization of departments and directorates. Upon scrutiny, Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that indeed there were several changes to the departments in the functions and the names that affected the mode of operations of the sectoral committees and their naming. The committee, however, noted that the Gazette notice did not capture the objects and functions of the departments as required by Section 46(1)(a) of the County Governments Act 2012. The committee wrote to the County Secretary via a letter dated the 25th day of April 2025, requiring a clarification on the naming of the departments and seeking an explanation on the objects and purpose of each department. As at commencement of the sitting of today, the committee has not been furnished with this crucial information, which is required for the committee to proceed with the important task of reviewing and amending first schedule to the standing orders on the names and functions of the sectoral committees. Mr. Speaker, sir, on behalf of the House Business Committee, I seek for a further 14 days for the committee to invite the County Secretary to shed light on the matters at hand and compile a report for the consideration of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Samuel Shegegadirimo. The report is duly tabled.
Point of observation, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kumu.
Honorable Speaker, I've observed that we require to fast track this issue because today you have committed the budget estimates to various sectoral committees. And if today we cannot be able to align the sectoral committee according to the executive order that was given, then it only means that it is going to bring a lot of confusion. Because I'm looking at my chair trade here, Honorable Engineer Kayani, and he's wondering whether he's the one who is going to look into the issues of tourism or it is going to be underwater. So even as the Deputy Speaker requests for 14 days, this is a matter of urgency. They require to be fast-tracked so that the business can sit properly to the sectoral committee that they are supposed to be. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Deputy Speaker. Yeah, maybe for avoidance of doubt, you got the chair budget's concern. Or can you pardon? You got him?
Exactly, Honorable Speaker. As at the moment, the matters raised by the Chairperson Budget Committee and Appropriation is very varied. And however, Honorable Speaker, it is important to know that we oversight the departments as a house. And the realignment will be done immediately. 14 days, Honorable Speaker, is within timelines to capture the budget estimates. However, the concerns are varied, and we regret the inefficiency at hand because the information or the furnishing of the information we required was sought as required. But we have not received, and therefore it is, unless we get the advice, we may not be able to align without that information. However, at the nearest retreat, which should be probably this week, as advised by the Speaker, we'll be able to have a meeting with the County Secretary as the House Business Committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Then probably in the circumstances, Deputy Speaker, is it not possible for it to be done within 7 days? Assuming that the retreat, not assuming, taking the position that the retreat commences tomorrow.
Honorable Speaker, it is within reach. We can do that.
Yes, okay, although there is an issue that has come up, minority, what is it?
Mr. Speaker, of course I am not differing with my Vice Chair, but I want to be guided, because if the Budget Committee wants to look at the documents within 50 days, the House business, I'm sure, within 14 days, it is capable of finalizing that business. And that means that it will not affect the timeline of the 50 days as required by the Chair of Budget, because I am considering that there is the statutory requirement that you cannot just invite person without giving some bit of some days. And then there is the sitting of the committee to deliberate on the report. I would think like the 14 days was moderate enough.
Maybe minority is something that confused me a bit. Out of information, the chair is on the mic. Something that you started by saying you don't want to differ with your vice chair. That was Honorable Samuel Chegadirimo. That confused me.
Because the Vice Chair had already agreed, like he can do it in 7 days.
Oh, you said my vice chair?
Yes.
Oh, I had your vice chair.
Yes.
That was just a concern. Yeah, I got it. I got the position. Yes, Honorable Kayeni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for catching my eye. Honorable Speaker, I need to be guided, and so strongly so, by the fact that certain matters do not need committee to sit down and deliberate on. My little understanding of law tells me that whatever is gazetted becomes the official position of the government. That is the essence of gazettement. And therefore, the House Business Committee does not need to go and sit because they are not doubting the position the government has taken. So this is a matter that requires communication from the chair. And therefore, because it doesn't change the position of the committees apart from a department being hived from one department to the other department. So for me, for the House Business Committee to go and sit and say and talk, it's like they are looking at a possibility of maybe challenging the gazettement of that position. And that is the position. Number two, Honorable Speaker.
Point of clarification, Mr. Speaker.
The Vice, I'm on a point of information. If I could
I'll give you an opportunity, Honorable Machimo.
If I could finish, then you'll have the floor, because then you slap the floor of the logic in my mind. I need to be advised by the chairman budget, because I know him to be a very sharp mind, that could there be a possibility that the budget is not aligned according to the gazetted department? Could there be an insinuation of the sort? Or as it is, the budget as it has come with a new alignment according to the new department reorganization by the governor. And therefore, for me, this is not a matter that requires no time. It just requires communication from the chair, and the matter stands adjusted, and committees and departments also stands adjusted accordingly. So there's no need for wasting any single time. The House business has better things to do other than look at a matter that is already dead on arrival.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Majority.
I tend to agree that indeed we are not getting into the operations of the way the suggestion from the executive, but the apparent reason why we need to realign this department is because they are also affecting the matrix. So in that way, the House business has a duty to make sure that we have the right, even have the right matrix, because when you look at the way it has affected some of the departments, then we need to realign our committees as per the matrix. That is the apparent reason why we are chipping in as the House business. Yeah, that's the apparent reason why, because we cannot just sit and, you know, it's bringing some complex mix in the operations of these committees in the House. Thank you.
Maybe point of more information, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Matibu.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform the House and Honorable Kayani that we are not challenging what the governor and the executive did, but there are some issues within that gazettement that the executive did. Maybe just for information purposes, Mr. Speaker, if I'm allowed, there are a few words that are within that document that we need that needs clarification from the executive. For example, if you go to that document, Honorable Kayani and Honorable members, you will find that that the executive have aligned and we have technical training. But if you go to the chief officer, instead of putting him under technical training, it has been gazetted as vocational center. So that's one clarification maybe that as House business we want to seek. Also, in the same, it has been gazetted cooperation instead of cooperatives. So those are some of the details that we need to do for us to have the clear information. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Milka. Yes, Honorable Milka 10. We said we'd be specifying member for Kirita.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was waiting for Honorable Mangiwa Gishuki to switch off his mic. Mr. Speaker, I want to weigh in this discussion and debate, and I want to agree with members that yes, there are changes that have happened, and I want to just give some information that sometimes back, remind the members, we passed a motion in this assembly requesting that the water department or the health and the solid waste management and the liquid waste management be adjusted accordingly, and I see that has been effected in the Gazette notice. However, Mr. Speaker, I don't see anything that should delay us from implementing the Gazette notice, because Gazette notice is final. However, if there are changes, as small changes as Honorable Matimo has alluded, those could be typo errors, cooperation and cooperative. They can be adjusted accordingly. However, as an assembly, we are not supposed to delay waiting for the executive to give us information. I'm saying this because, for example, I've heard in this assembly that we might go to, for the whole house, and probably we will meet the executive members. For trade or for environment, who do we meet? So I think we need to pass that today so that when we go, we act according to the Gazette notice. If there are changes, then we can adjust accordingly because the changes will be minimal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Milka. Yeah, we go to Honorable Gishuki, then Honorable Ngeshe.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to draw the member of Kedafai to CGA section 46, which mandates the House business through the county assembly to allocate business to
point of clarification from the chair.
Yes, what is the clarification?
The minority minority leader is contributing for the second time. I don't understand why I should be denied that chance where he had really contributed. Maybe you need to clarify to the House.
Yes, minority, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this is on points of orders, points of clarification, points of information. They are not necessarily contributions. But my point was of information to the member for Gedafai that the premise on which House business is seized of this matter is under CGA 46, which requires that the House business sets businesses for committee. So if, say, for example, the government have changed roles from, say, the example that is being given about the what? Your tourism, yeah, which is moved from trade to water, is that that business to transact on matters tourism then moves. That committee that is mandated to allow that committee to start overseeing that particular is the mandate of the House business. So even though that we will also be looking at the merits of the changes by the governor, and even when we may not necessarily interfere with the governor's decision and merits of his own decision in terms of the organization of government, after that reorganization, the House business needs to officially give that mandate to that particular committee. And that is why that communication also still needs to come from the House business as a requirement, because it is the House business that apportions business to committees. My take, I may not be right.
Honorable Ngeshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Though you have not clarified, you have just ignored it. I also ignore whether the response will be coming. But I also need to weigh on this issue. One is to appreciate that the House business, where I am a member, whatever we are doing, it should be like that. Because we cannot be able to deduce what whoever was gazetting meant unless he clarifies. So the issue of asking for more days, it's good because they must tell us what is the intention. We cannot allude to the fact that it is a typo error. Why was it deliberate typo error? So it needs to be clarified. I want also to tell the members there was a gazettement that was done some 1 year ago when the Kerry Badilisha, the governor, now made his government to work. At the Department of Health, we were given 3 departments, and those departments, as per the Gazette notice, it was not effected. You recall there was the promotive. There was promotive something, and it ended up becoming administrative. So we should, in what is legal, we should have clear documents pertaining to whatever is happening. Because for us here now, what we are doing, we are doing our work of oversighting. And for me, whether it is not agreeable to many, for me, I think let the governor or whoever is concerned bring the right document to this House, because this is an entity. We cannot just say it has been gazetted. Those who are saying we may proceed, the question is, why should we proceed where they themselves, they had ample time? Unless you want to tell us this is a government that does not understand their mandate. An entire gazette notice that it was contemplated by the cabinet, then you realize a typo error. Then you are telling us the Governor Kerry Badilisha government has got incompetent people in that level echelon. So I think it should be how it should be, what is right. At the end of the day, we are not rubber stampers in this assembly.
Yes, Kayani, what is it?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I hear what the chairman Committee on Health is talking about, but I'm left wondering, asking myself one question: whose prerogative is it for the structuring and formation of the government? Is it the Assembly or the Executive? My understanding is the Executive, if I may answer that question. And the Assembly only aligns the committee according to the structure of the government. And therefore, we don't have any mandate whatsoever, the last time I checked, and looking at the presidencies, to try and challenge the way the governor has reorganized his government. We only need to oversight that government through relevant committees, which are structured in conformity with the structure of the government. And therefore, I don't think we're sitting here to challenge the gazettement of the structure of the government, according to the way the chief executive, Honorable Kerian Badisha, has done. All we need to do is to conform, adjust our committees so that they are in a position to oversight those departments as structured by the governor. And that's why I'm expecting a communication from the chair telling us the committees are now aligned as this to be able to oversight the executive. Tomorrow, and I know the chairman will come in on this, we'll be going to look at the budget. And the budget has come as structured. Are we going to do that, bearing in mind the House business is sitting to look at how the structures are? If they come and find with a variance, are we going to go back and again have another sitting now to adopt the new committee as per the finding of the House business? I think we're putting the cart before the horse. And here, wisdom is needed and guidance, actually from you, the chair, which I know you are capable of doing exactly that. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Chair, Budget.
Honorable Speaker, I'm happy for the matter has been discussed and deliberated. For me, I wanted just to bring information and to alert the House, because I'm concerned as the chair, because there are one or two things I know, Mr. Speaker. I'm expecting maybe through your guidance that tomorrow as we break for the whole House, one of the crucial matters we'll be discussing with the members is the annual budget estimates. If we don't fast track this matter, of which as a budget committee we have no much problem, because we have 50 days. We'll continue with our issues of public participation, because I know the budget is aligned. We'll go on. But I can see, Honorable Speaker, a situation where we request you 2 more whole houses after we have aligned. So I had looked that into the future, because I know we might have some complications somewhere. Otherwise, I have no problem. We can go on. We can take 14 or 21 days. Only that, after we have passed that, then we will require another whole house to go and look at the budget properly as the committee are seated. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable DS can respond to the issues.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I wish to respond on behalf of the committee on the matters raised. Indeed, they are weighty matters and they are crucial. However, Mr. Speaker, as it has been said here, the functions, the duty or the powers to organize the government belongs to the executive, which they have done. And actually, the letter we wrote to the county secretary was just to seek for the functions, objects and functions of the departments as required by Section 46, 1A of the County Government Act 2012. The objects and the functions of the department. However, the reorganization belongs to the executive. Honorable Speaker, it is also good to take note that committees, sectoral committees in the county assembly are formed pursuant to standing orders. And therefore, they are valid as constituted until such a time we reconstitute them otherwise pursuant to standing orders. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I don't find, I believe that within 14 days, we'll be able to get the clarification that we need from the executive such that the relevant committees as constituted will be able to scrutinize the budget and proceed with the oversight work. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable DS. Honorable members, in regard to that matter, indeed it is the work and power of the governor and the county executive committee to reorganize the departments. Section 46(1)(a) provides that the county executive committee should provide for the objects and purpose of the departments. It is necessary that the county executive committee to inform the assembly who the functions of each department for the assembly to properly oversee the executive. The House Business Committee is a committee mandated to amend the standing orders, which apportions the names and functions of each committee. For a committee to oversee any department outside the provisions of the standing, it will be going against their powers and might create a confusion. I therefore direct the House Business Committee to proceed and report to this House as requested by the Honorable Deputy Speaker. The sectoral committees shall then be given 14 days after the amendments to report on the budget, estimates to the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Clerk, next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is a statement response to be issued by the Honorable John Tuogashino, the Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Very well. Honorable John Tuogashino, Chairperson, Committee on Lands. Honorable Ibra. Who is the Vice Chair in Committee on Lands? Just as a concern. Honorable Ibra, who is the Vice Chair of that committee?
Honorable Speaker, the Vice Chair is Honorable Esther Waidina.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Proceed.
And on behalf of the Chair, Honorable Gashino, I do give a preliminary report. This is Honorable Speaker. The Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development has been actively reviewing the statements sought by Honorable James K. Rugashomba, MCA for Jabini Kiboro Ward, on status of implementation of physical and land use development plans of Bairo Inya and engineer municipalities and surveying on the colonial dams in Nyandarua County. Honorable Speaker, in August 2024, the Honorable James K. Rugashomba, member of the County Assembly and MCA for Jabini Kiboru Ward, raised concerns regarding the status of the implementation of fiscal and land use development plans for Mairo Inya and engineer municipalities, as well as the surveying of colonial dams within Nyandarua County. In response, the Speaker of the County Assembly directed the Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development to investigate the matter and provide a comprehensive response within a stipulated timeline. Following this directive, the committee, through the Office of the Clerk, issued a formal inquiry to the County Executive Committee member, CCM, for Department of Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development via a letter dated 15th August 2024 and referenced as stated. The department responded through a letter dated that 1st October 2024 as referenced, in which a partial information was provided. To further engage the department, the committee issued an invitation to the CCM to appear before the committee on Wednesday, November 6, 2024 at 11 a.m. through a letter reference NCA Clerk 14 CC Lands stroke 4624 dated 20th November 2024. In response, the department requested additional time via correspondence dated same day, November 20th, 2024, and as referenced. Based on the contents of the letter dated that 1st October 2024, the committee compiled a progressive report which was duly tabled before this House on 5th March 2025. Subsequently, the committee sent another invitation through the Office of the Clerk for the department to appear before the committee. For reference, NCA Clerk /CC Lands /62/25, dated 17th April 2025. The department responded via a letter dated April 25, 2025, with a reference Nyandarua LPP and UD/admin/28 volume 4 that 1, providing very limited and inconclusive information. As a result, the committee has issued a final invitation for the department to appear before it on May 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. to shed more light on the matter. Honorable Speaker, in view of the foregoing, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee respectively seeks an extension of 21 days in order to exhaustively review the matter and compile a comprehensive report for presentation to this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Chair, Honorable John Dugashino, Chairpersons, Committee Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Thank you, Honorable Ibra. The preliminary progress or response duly tabled. The leave sought is well explained and deserving, and so I grant it as sought. So, Chairperson, ensure the report is ready within the time requested. Clerk, next order. There was a report by Honorable Kayeni that was erroneously. There was a report on Committee on Tourism, Trade, Cooperative Development and Industrialization on the Departmental Budget Implementation Report. That was to be tabled by Honorable Kayeni. Honorable Kayeni, you can proceed. We apologize, that was erroneously.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the skipping also did confuse us because we thought that matter had been dropped, and therefore void that confusion that existed within from your end, from the end of the House business. Honorable Speaker, that report is not with me here. Would ask for the scheduling of the same, so that the committee is able to bring that matter before the floor of the House. Thank you.
Very well. Though you should take an advantage of that. Indeed, it is in the notice paper. It's me who skipped. It was an oversight. However, the leave. When do you want it?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe can I say the same time as the House business brings back the report? Around a fortnight or thereabout.
Very well.
Thank you.
That's noted. Clerk, ensure that is in our business tracker. Next order.
Order number 8, motions and bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are 2 motions to be moved. The first one by Honorable Peter Denjikiriga, the Chairperson, Special Funds Accounts Committee.
Very well. Honorable Peter Denjikiriga, Chairperson, Special Funds Account Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the Special Fund Committee, Mr. Speaker, and I'm the chairman to the committee. With me, I have the report on the annual financial year statement of the County Emergency Fund for the financial year 2023-2024. Mr. Speaker, most of what we have here is the tabulation. And Mr. Speaker, I want to be so brief, so precise, because I may not go to the tabulation, but Mr. Speaker, I want to acknowledge, to give the acknowledgement Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity on behalf of the committee to submit my inexpressible appreciation to your office and that of the clerk for the support accorded to the committee towards the successful execution of its mandate. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to recognize the unflinching commitment and selflessness that was demonstrated by the members of the committee and the Secretariat during the completion of this report. I receive the profound gratitude for them. Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, on behalf of the members of the committee, it is my distinguished duty and pleasure to present to the House the committee's report on the annual financial statements of the County Emergency Fund for the financial year 2023, and there I've signed. Mr. Speaker, the Special Fund Committee is pleased to present this report on the annual financial statement of the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund for the financial year 2023-2024. This report has been prepared in accordance with the committee's mandate to provide the oversight on the administration and utilization of emergency funds as stipulated in the Public Finance Act, that is PFMA 2012, and the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund regulations of 2022. Mr. Speaker, through this report, the committee aims to ensure the transparency, accountability, and prudent financial management in the utilization of emergency funds, ultimately enhancing the county's capacity to respond effectively to unforeseen emergencies. Mr. Speaker, those are just below the other committees. I'm the chairman. Mr. Speaker, we are about 9 of us. We have the secretariat, that is the clerks, Ms. Patricia Shege and Dorcas Kalaja as the senior internal auditor. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Special Fund Accounts Committee is established under Standing Order number 197 into brackets of the Nyandarua County Assembly, Standing Orders, and is responsible for examination of the accounts relating to A. Nyandarua County Executive Committee members' car loan and mortgage fund scheme. Mr. Speaker, B. Nyandarua County Civil Servants car loan and mortgage fund scheme. C. Nyandarua County Emergency Fund. D. Nyandarua County Assembly members' car and mortgage fund scheme. E. D. The Nyandarua Assembly member, I have repeated myself. E. The Nyandarua Assembly staff car loan and mortgage and scheme. F. Nyandarua County Gratuity Fund. G. Nyandarua County Pension Fund. And lastly, such other funds established by the law and as the Speaker may direct. Mr. Speaker, there is standard reference which I may not go through. It's just there for the members to do the reference. The introduction has been made here as the Speaker, but I just highlight about the introduction. Mr. Speaker, established the authorization of the emergency fund term from the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. According to this act, a county executive member for finance can establish additional public funds with the approval of both the County Executive Committee and the County Assembly. Furthermore, Section 110, bracket 2 of the Act outlines that the primary purposes of an emergency fund is to facilitate payments for urgent and unforeseen expense in a county where specific legislative authority is lacking. Subject to the provision of Section 113, the County Executive Committee member for Finance is only permitted to authorize payments from the county government's emergency fund if they determine that there exists an urgent and unforeseen expenditure without legislative backing. Sections 112 of the PFMA delineates the criteria guiding and suitable activities eligible for emergency fund allocations. Additionally, the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund Regulation of 2022 serve as a guiding framework, offering a checklist to evaluate whether presented cases warrant considered for the emergency fund. Based on the established frameworks, the committee conducted an assessment to determine whether the funds were utilized appropriately. Mr. Speaker, the committee's observations and findings. Mr. Speaker, following thorough scrutiny of the financial statement, the committee made the following findings and opposition. We analyzed non-financial information. Mr. Speaker, the fund established under PFM Act 2012 and the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund Regulations of 2022, the fund's objective is to ensure payments to be made in respect to the county when an urgent and unforeseen need for expenditure for which there is no specific legislative authority arises. The principal mission of the fund is to meet unforeseen events which threatens or damages the human life life or welfare or threatens damages to the environment. Mr. Speaker, one, there is fund administration and key management term. Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, fund administration committee comprises the following. That is Kamande as the CEC, Mr. Joseph Wahome, CPA Frederick Gashuhe, Virginia Karaja, Ms. Foy Bio as a member. Mr. Speaker, on the other hand, the key management team comprised the following. They are just other below. Mr. Speaker, there is analysis of financial information. That is the fund status at 30th June 2024. During the financial year under review, the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund received an allocation of Kenya shillings 40 million from the County Revenue Fund, that is the CRF, to facilitate the emergency interventions. By the close of the reporting period, the fund had an unutilized cash balance of Kenya shilling 23,899,398 shillings, which was held in its designated accounts as Equity Bank of Kenya. This financial year, the financial position reflected the fund's physical status as of the reporting dates and serves as a basis for accessing its efficiency in resource utilization, adherence to financial regulations, and capacity to respond to emergencies effectively. 3, Mr. Speaker, statements of financial position for the year ended 30th June 2024. As at 30th June 2024, the Nyandarua County Emergency Fund reported total current assets amounting to Kenya shillings 35,719,515 shillings only, comprising cash and cash equivalents. The total liabilities, primarily consisting of the trade payables, stood at Kenya shillings 2,618 shillings 530. Consequently, the net assets and liabilities amounted to Kenya shillings 21,280,859 shillings. representing the accumulated surplus of the fund as at the end of the reporting period. And 4, statements of financial performance during the financial year ended 30th June 2024. The fund reported a deficit of Kenya shillings 13,488,637. A significant shift from the surplus of Kenya shilling 20,451,074 shillings recorded in the financial year 2022-2023. The total income for the year stood at Kenya shillings 40,313,553, while total fund expenses amounted to Kenya shillings 53,802,190 shillings. The fund expense were as tabulated below, Mr. Speaker. I may not go to direct to the tabulations. Mr. Speaker, we have another tabulation here as the funds withdrawn from the emergency fund to support the reconstructed of houses affected by fire tragedies. The emergency fund regulations outlines a specific criteria and a checklist of determining eligibility for the assistance. These regulations further stipulate that compensation shall be the lower of 10% of the eliminated reconstruction cost of Kenya shilling 150. The permanent houses, where the maximum allocation for the semi-permanent houses is capped at Kenya shillings 75,000. In accordance with these provisions, the committee conducted thorough review of the reported fire incidences as tabulated below. Any member can just go through. It belongs to all the wards. You can actually, those members can even check their clients. Mr. Speaker, the committee findings, after assessing the extent of damage, verifying compliance with the eligibility criteria, and considering the financial impact on the affected households. The committee determined that the cases qualified for the consideration under the emergency fund, grants and subsidies. That is 2. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee observed that the expenditure of Kenya shillings 191,570 shillings was incurred for the procurement of the essential relief supplies, including 600 packets of 2 kg maize for flour and 122 blankets for the distributions to households adversely affected by the whirlwind in Yakio Ward. The supporting documents are submitted by the County Executive Committee, that is the CECM, for financial comprised or a detailed list of beneficiaries, indicating their identification numbers, the extent of damage sustained to their households, and the specific relief items allocated to them. Furthermore, 35 beneficiaries duly appended their signatures under receiving the distributed items, ensuring transparency in the distribution of process. Upon scrutiny, the committee established that the provisions of emergency fund regulations number 16, which outlines the requisite criteria for the accessing emergency funds in the response to the calamities such as strong winds and heavy storms, were duly adhered to. 3. The body repatriation. Those are people that have gone under what I don't know, that had died in the dams. The committee noted that Kenya shillings 117 was drawn from the emergency fund, advocated the engagement of 6 professional divers from the Kenya Red Cross to retrieve the body from Makedo Kaguo Dam in Kaibaga Ward. This decision was necessitated by multiple and successful recovery attempts by well-wishers, highlighting the needs for trained and specialized personnel to undertake the operation in a safe and efficient manner. The committee acknowledges that the expenditure was justified given the urgency and sensitivity of the matter. Although I would prefer that we have our own people. The repair and the maintenance, that is number 5. Mr. Speaker, the committee further observed that the substantial portion of the emergency fund was allocated towards the repair and maintenance of roads and bridges across various wards within the county. The intervention was primarily necessitated by the devastating impact of the El Nino rains, which caused widespread infrastructural damage during the financial year. When the committee recognizes the necessity of these emergency interventions to restore accessibility and ensure public safety, it underscores the importance of prudent planning and adequate budgetary allocations excuse me, to mitigate over reliance on emergency funds for feasible infrastructural changes. From the scrutiny of the supporting documents, it was noted that the funds were utilized as stipulated below. Mr. Speaker, this committee finding, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee conducted the comprehensive review of reporting documents, including payments, vouchers, requesting letters, cabinet memos, and pictorial evidence. This is thorough scrutiny enabled the committee to make the following findings. Land acquisition for Kibuli Dam access loads. The committee observed with concern that during the land acquisition process, the county executive committee members for land sourced funds from the emergency fund to facilitate the purchase of land required for the construction of the access road to Kifuloi Dam. While the importance of improving access to the dam is undisputed, the committee noted that this constituted a misapplication of the emergency fund, which is strictly governed. Mr. Speaker, by Section 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, the Act stipulates that withdrawals from the emergency fund should be reserved exclusively for unforeseen and urgent matters that cannot wait for the normal budgetary process. The committee is of the view that the construction of the access roads to the strategic infrastructure such as Kifuloi Dam is foreseeable, a necessity that ought to have been factored into the initial planning and budgeting phases during the dams established. The reliance on emergency resources for such as foreseeable development reflects the inadequacy of the county executive. B. Delayed cabinet approval for the emergency fund request. The committee observed that in the same cases, cabinet members requesting consideration under the emergency fund were submitted as early as 2 months before approval, despite the urgent nature request. This delay contradicts the principles of urgency that should govern the use of emergency funds and raises concerns about the efficiency and responsiveness of the approval process. C. Misallocation of emergency funds for Orkalau affordable housing water line. The committee raised a particular concern regarding the expenditure of Kenya shillings 1,086,961 on water works related to the Orkalau affordable housing water line. This expenditure was deemed irregular and procedurally flawed given the existence of the formal agreement between the county government and the National Housing Corporation for the implementation of the affordable housing project. The committee emphasized that the decision to draw funds from the emergency funds for these purposes contravenes the legal provisions set out in Section 110 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which strictly limits withdrawals from the emergency fund to unforeseen and urgent events that requires immediate intervention. The provisions of water to the planned housing projects does not meet the threshold of an emergency as defined under the law and should have been anticipated and appropriately funded through the annual budget of the Department of Water. Mr. Speaker, this case highlights a troubling lapse in the physical discipline and planning within the county executive, and the committee strongly urges adherence to the proper budgetary protocols to ensure the prudent use of public funds. D. Emergency fund utilization for Mairuinya solid waste unit. The committee observed that an amount of Kenya shilling 1,193,804 shillings was withdrawn from the emergency fund to facilitate the construction of solid waste management unit in Mairuinya, while acknowledging the importance of waste management in waste management infrastructure. The committee expressed serious concern over the use of emergency resources for a function that is clearly predictable. Pursuant to Section 110 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, expenditure from the emergency fund are strictly limited to unforeseen and urgent situations that cannot be postponed without adverse consequences. The committee maintains that solid waste management brings a routine that ongoing public services does not meet the legal or practical thresholds for the emergency findings. The failure to include this critical component in the annual development plan and budgeting plans reflects poor planning. Number 5, medical and burial assistance. Mr. Speaker, the County Emergency Fund Regulations 2012 set out a criteria for accessing the emergency fund, including a structured checklist to guide the evaluation of requests for medical bill payments. In the course of its deliberations, the committee undertook a rigorous review of the approved medical cases, relying on the provisions of these regulations to determine whether they met the prescribed thresholds. The case were tabulated as the table below. Mr. Speaker, page 20, 21, 22, 23, and even part of 24, it's full of tabulation for more information. Mr. Speaker, the emergency fund regulations provides financial assistance to individuals unable to settle their outstanding medical bills. However, the regulation explicitly stipulates that such payments shall be made directly to the respective health facilities and not to the individuals. Additionally, the regulations set a maximum support limit of Kenya shillings 50,000 per claim, but for medical bill exceeding this amount, an additional of 10% of a total bill may be granted subject to the maximum limit of Kenya shillings 200,000. Upon reviewing the supporting documentations, the committee confirmed that these provisions were duly observed in the disbursement of the funds. However, it was noted that in some instances, the emergency fund was used to pay the NHIF, now the chief, contributions, Despite this being provided for the regulations, while the NHIF contribute was often lower than the total hospital bill, its payment through the emergency and raised concerns regarding compliance and with the establishment of the regulations. Number 6, administration cost. The administration cost of the fund for the year amounted to Kenya shillings 1,348,200,000. This amount preliminarily covered expense related to the review of the regulations to address concerns raised by the Auditor General. Additionally, the funds were used for the management and oversight the fund's operations. Mr. Speaker, number 5, we are seeking approval from the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, Section 114 of the Public Finance Management, that is the PFMA, requires the county executive members for finance to seek approval from the County Assembly within 2 months after making any payment from the emergency fund. This provision is designed to promote transparency, accountability, and prudent financial management. However, the CECM has repeatedly failed to comply with the requirement, raising serious concerns about potential misuse of the emergency fund. Mr. Speaker, we have some recommendations, which are not many, there are about 9 of them. That 1, the County Executive Committee member, the finance shall within 7 days provide a written explanation for the failure to comply with Section 114 of the Public Finance Management Act, which requires seeking County Assembly approval within 2 months of any emergency fund expenditure. 2, henceforth, the County Executive Committee member, that is specifically the CECM, for the finance shall ensure full compliance with the provisions of Section 110 of Public Finance Management Act 2012, which strictly limits the use of emergency fund to urgent and unforeseen circumstances, under that any future withdrawals that do not meet these legal thresholds shall be subject to the investigation by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. That these executive committee members for finance shall within 45 days review the county emergency fund regulations to establish clear guidelines on the eligibility of social health insurance fund, contributions of payments under the fund, explicitly what it's behaving as if it uses consumes the battery, sir. It's not power. Mr. Speaker, number 3, that the county Mr. Speaker, because of this interruption of this power, I urge, because we have our own recommendations, which are 9, members can refer from them. Mr. Speaker, we have the conclusion, which is about 3 lines. The Committee on Special Funds Account has conducted comprehensive review of the financial statement of Nyandarua County Emergency Fund, reaffirming the commitment to sound financial oversight and accountability. The findings underscore the need for greater efficiency, transparency, and prudent management to ensure the emergency fund fulfills intended purposes effectively. Lastly, we trust that this project will serve as a valuable tool informing policy decisions and guiding financial management reforms, ultimately contributing to the approved stewardship of the emergency fund. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I urge Honorable Member from Kipipeli to give a second.
I second.
Thank you. The motion is duly moved and seconded. I propose the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts on the report on the annual financial statements of the County Emergency Fund for financial year 2023-2024 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts on the report on the annual financial statement of the County Emergency Fund for financial year 2023-2024 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolution of the House. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, still under the same order, there is a motion to be moved by the Honorable Paul Ngesho-Wambaire, the Chairperson, Committee on Health Services.
Very well. Honorable Paul Ngesho-Wambaire, Chairperson, Committee on Health Services.
Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Health Services is one of the sectoral committee with a very critical role in the county. I appreciate the honorable members for rigorously executing their mandate of representation and oversight. I also wish to thank your office and that of the clerk for facilitating the committee and offering the relevant technical expertise through the Secretariat in pursuing its core mandate. I extend my appreciation to members of the committee for their commitment and believe that we shall continue to expedite our mandate with diligence and goodwill for all our electorate. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my pleasure and duty on behalf of the committee to present this report to the House for consideration and adoption. Mr. Speaker, we are tasked by this House to scrutinize the implementation of various programs and projects and any successes or challenges faced for the period ending 30th June 2024. The committee sought to be furnished with information on the following by the CCM for Health Services. Number 1, project or the program name. 2, approved budget for the project. 3, project location or the ward. 4, a summary of project specifications. 5, date of procurement. 6, RSO or RPO number. 7, name of contractor or supplier. 8, expected date of commencement. 9, expected date of completion. 10, challenges and successes faced during implementation. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason as to why I have read that one verbatim is now for me to take you to page 10 of the report, and the members will be able to consume fair and in healthy infrastructure. For example, we have renovation of Redeshua dispensary, had a budget allocation of 1.5. It is in Kipipiri ward. The work done is renovation. Date of procurement, it was procured on 23rd February. RSO is 148.2. Contractor is Riverbird. Expected date of completion 30th June 2024. The charges or the success, it was about tiling works, complete awaiting payment. Reason for incomplete project, you are told that project is complete, awaiting payment. I have just used an example. It tells you then that any member can go through that, page 10, 11, 12, we have several, 13, and now we go to committee observation and finding. Mr. Speaker, the issue of budget allocation and project scope. The health sector project instead reflects a significant investment aimed at improving infrastructure services within various wards. The budget allocation for individual projects vary, with a large number of them focused on upgrading, renovation, or construction of health facilities such as dispensary, health centers, and maternity block. This project aims to enhance health services by improving the quality and accessibility of health facility. Project status, Mr. Speaker, the status of the project implemented in the financial year under review is as A, many projects are either complete or nearing completion, with several awaiting payment. B, several projects are ongoing, particularly the ones with phased financing, such as the upgrading of health center in multiple wards like Shamoka, Babu, Daragwa, Manunga. C, some projects are facing delay due to underfunding, as seen with the Masuja JM complex and the completion of Muset dispensary, which are marked as underfunded. D, the renovation of Gadara dispensary has encountered significant issue where the dispensary block was condemned, halting any further work on that project. Contractor performance, Mr. Speaker, the following was observed on contractors. A, some contractors have successfully completed their work and await payments, like renovation of Kaga dispensary, that is for Mheshimiwa Gitau, captain, and I saw him trading while they were opening that facility. Tumaini Cemetery toilets. However, there is a recurring issue with the underfunding causing delays in some project, as noted in the Masuja JM complex at the Muset dispensary. This one is in North Kinangop. If not, it is in North Kinangop. This underfunding can potentially lead to incomplete or delayed project if not addressed adequately. Project challenges, as I had indicated, underfunding, the Masuja JM complex. Though the other time I saw His Excellency the President, he said that he will be bringing in the army, the Kenya army. We are yet to know the status. We will be following. And of course, the project completion delay. Many projects are still pending payment, even though the work has been completed, indicating potential administrative delay or budgetary issues in the procurement process. Condemnation of building. The Gadara dispensary, that is in Gadara ward, and Mheshimiwa for Gadara, who was to be a member, is aware of the Gadara dispensary, faced an unexpected issue where the building was condemned, thus halting the renovation project entirely. Relocation of funds. The Mohakaine dispensary project had funds reallocated during the supplementary process, which could further delay its completion. Successes. Mr. Speaker, the department registered the following achievement in the financial year. Tumaini Cemetery toilets at the PESI dispensary in Shamata, painting and rehabilitation have been completed and paid for, demonstrating successful execution and financial management. B, ongoing projects in various wards are showing positive progress, especially with contractors like Civitra Company Limited and the Quality Equipment Bargains Limited, who are actively working on health infrastructure project such as the construction of maternity blocks and radiology. Recommendation: the committee, upon scrutiny of the departmental budget implementation report for the financial year 2023-2024, came up with the following recommendation. 1. The CCM for Health Department should ensure that funds are allocated more strategically and equitably across projects to avoid delay. Number 2, improvement payment process to ensure that completed projects do not stall. There should be a streamlined and efficient payment process for contractors. 3, the CCM for Health Department should initiate re-evaluation of the condemned project, like Gadara Dispensary, to ensure the continuity of services in the area. The CCM for Health Department should bank on increased monitoring and support to ensure that delays do not accumulate, especially for the phase-funded project. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, while there have been notable success in the completion and ongoing execution of various health sector projects, challenges such as underfunding, delays in payment, and building condemnation continue to hinder the progress of some projects. Addressing these issues through improved financial planning, efficient procurement processes, and timely funding allocations will ensure the successful and timely completion of health infrastructure projects. It is imperative that the relevant authority take this recommendation into account to enhance the delivery of health services and overall development of health infrastructure across the wards. The committee is keen to ensure that the Department of Health Services does implement projects such as approved in the county budget. This will be propelled by ensuring that the BQs are prepared early enough to give room for implementation projects with the budgetary allocation in any financial year. So, Mr. Speaker, what we are trying to say as a department, we are very grateful for the support we are receiving from the members, including the members of Secretariat, the clerk, and the staff. Mr. Speaker, when we acceded to the office, or when we got into the office, our health department was wanting. And after now, we have continually been oversighting. We can see the fruits. We have realized the fruit of serious oversight, Mr. Speaker. And we as a committee will continue doing it and offering positive criticism so that our infrastructure, our facility will be able to be upgraded. I'm happy with the spirit, the zeal the members has, and the support they have really been granting us. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I now call Honorable Denji Keriga, a member of the Health Committee, to second.
Mr. Speaker, I put forward.
You second. Thank you. The motion is duly moved and seconded. I propose a question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Health Committee, of the Committee on Health Services, on the departmental budget implementation for the financial year 2023-2024 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. I now put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Health Services on the departmental budget implementation for financial year 23-24 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as a resolution of the House. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And there is clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we have exhausted the business of the day as appearing in this morning order paper session.
There being no other business to transact during this sitting, I now adjourn the House to Tuesday, the 6th day of May 2025 at 2:30 p.m.